was at least a half feet tall.
It wasn't more than when it
We probably locked eyes for maybe 3 seconds, and that was enough for me to just be completely scared out of my mind.
You put bait out too?
We have similar reports in Russia.
I must have watched it for about, a minute and a half.
A large something.
I couldn't explain what it was.
And that's when I saw the face peek out from behind me.
But ancient Native Americans have been recounting sightings for cities. Sightings of creatures all the Creek.
They ran into this people that they called the Creek Devil.
Since the late 1950s, local and national newspapers have recounted eyewitness reports of 6 to 8 foot tall, hairy, man-like creatures roaming the mountains of Humboldt County in Northern California.
Where the crystal waters flow. No reason to consider company might show. But destiny would find you where you walked across the sand. World divided, did Roger film a Bigfoot or man? Where are you now, Patty?
Well, welcome, folks. It's that time once again for the Friday evening Bigfoot Radio. And now for the Bigfoot research teams from across the country, welcome everyone. How is everyone doing tonight?
Well, I guess how everybody's doing tonight all depends on what everybody is at and what location they're in. How are you doing out there, Chris? And before I get started with the show, for anybody out there who has any UFO experiences or orbs or Sasquatch sightings or chupacabras or any weird, strange sightings and they want to come onto the show, you can call us up at 667-770-1476, and the participant code is 759314#. Again, the phone number is 667-770-1476, and the participant code again is 759314#. So, Chris, what's going on?
Well, good job in giving out that information. First, I got to say that. And did you look at the film I sent you at all?
Yeah, I did. I saw all that baggage and everything on your table. And then I thought I didn't know if that was a little tiny bar of soap in a baggie or what that was. I couldn't figure that thing out.
And I'm driving myself insane getting, stuff for this Bigfoot ordeal I'm doing tomorrow. But I think I got myself covered for about, just in case we go to a zombie apocalypse or something. I got to hang out on the mountain for another week. I could do it. So I got enough provisions for 10 to 12 days, and I'll be up there for 5 nights.
Okay.
And, I
said, okay.
And it's a lot to do, man. Jesus, I forgot about it. I haven't done it in 2 years. So I got all my fire starters, my rope, my tarps. I got plaster Paris, enough matches and stuff to burn down the forest. All the things you need, your binoculars, the food, what Bigfoot likes to eat. So I'm excited. This place I'm going to, this is my 6th year of going there, and in 6 years I've seen 7 Bigfoots come to visit. So I know they'll come to visit now that I'm by myself. Now this is the first time I'm up in this area tenting and backpacking by myself. Usually I had medium with me, a friend of mine from work, but this is the first time I'm doing it by myself. So I hope to get really close and be able to share something very exciting, So these are the same family that I had at the cabin. And this place is 3 miles from where I used to live at the cabin as the crow flies on this mountain. So but it's going to be cold, Steve. I'm telling you, it's going to be below freezing. This is what I don't like. My muscles start really tightening up and everything when it's that cold. It's going to be like 30 degrees at night for tomorrow. And on Sunday night, on Monday, it's going to be higher, like 65 and I think 42. And then it hits almost 80 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right.
So the nights will be in the 50s. That's good. When the nights did you get that video I sent you of me in the forest stacking wood?
If I did, I'll look at it later.
Yeah. I spent like 4 hours in that area pulling out wet wood and piling it out in this meadow so the sun could dry it out. Did you see that, Anthony? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it, and you had you showed where the rocks were where you had the fire last time. So,
yes.
Now,
yes.
Did you send that to my Google Voice, or did you post that on my Facebook page or my Facebook Messenger?
I have 2 accounts of yours, so I send them to both, just in case one goes through, one doesn't. I don't know if you get them right. And I send them to Bruce, too, so on this, so I try to keep you up to date.
Right.
Did we lose Bruce? Or is he still, is he outside, patrolling that Mexican buffet place down there in Paris, Texas?
Oh, I'm right here.
You know him.
I'm here.
You must know him. He's out there tasting the Mexican cuisine.
Negative. Yeah. They don't have no food out. They just got beer and their music playing.
No, all you need. No, thanks. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah. But, I'm here in Paris, Texas, dealing with some situations with my daughter. And I want to give a shout out right quick to the people that actually helped us get a place to stay tonight. It's Paris Extended Stay Suites, and they were very helpful with us. They give you a bedroom, a hotel room with the kitchen, all the amenities pretty much, and pretty reasonable prices. They may be a little high at times, but they do have some good deals.
Well,
did you just do a commercial?
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a good place to stay in Paris, Texas, there's a place. It's got good people. It's got good service. It's got a lot of great people there.
Well, we just did a commercial.
Wow, I guess we did, didn't we?
No, sorry, not sorry.
Now we need is a Bigfoot hotel. That would really bring them all in.
Yes.
Sasquatch Hotel.
We need to open one up.
Yeah, Sasquatch Hotel. Hot and tasty to your delight. Oh.
Hey, and Bigfoot comes in and tucks you in every night.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I could just see that when Bruce laying in bed, a big old furry critter comes up and tucks him in and gives him a big old kiss or a lick on the forehead.
Oh, God.
But anyhow, as you were saying, Chris.
Yeah, so, hey, it's 5 nights. I'm excited. I'm not excited about the cold. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That part I'm not. But that's when they come and visit. Listen, when I seen them once in the daytime at this location. Okay, once. But usually they come out at night, and I'm not gonna have the moon in my favor. Okay, and the moon is, I think we got a quarter of a moon, and it's going to be, actually, I think it's going to be known by Tuesday. So, and it's pitch black. I hope the stars are out. I hope the clouds are out. I'm not quite sure on that. I think there's supposed to be some rain, but I brought a tarp, so all the wood that I cut tomorrow, I'm just going to have it. It'll be dry for if it does rain or whatever. So that's not too much of a hassle, I guess. But yeah, they come out at night, man. They do. They see me in the daytime. I don't see them. Very rarely, but I'm looking forward to it. And I bought 6 pounds of dried beef jerky. I brought mangoes. I brought celery. I brought organic peanut butter. I know they like. Empire apples. I know they like. But tons of water, 10 gallons of water, plus another case of water, 36 bottles of 20-ounce bottles of water, Coke, Dr. Pepper. I got overboard. Actually, I think my car could open up as a 7-Eleven.
Mm.
Well, who would be your first customer out there?
Yeah, I hope Bigfoot is my first customer out there. You're right. You know, it is riveting. Not riveting. Riveting. When you're out there and then you see the first eye shine. Mm-hmm. So you're there by your fire. Which reminds me, I got to remember to bring this folding chair and attach it to my backpack, man. I don't want to sit on the ground. So anyways, and you're there by your fire, and then you see in the distance the first pair of eyes. Mm-hmm. And then they get closer. You know, that's when your heart starts beating. But you know they're coming to see you, and that's what you're paying admission for. Mm-hmm. So I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yep.
Do you have any questions?
You got to pay admission to get in.
I feel like I'm talking, but nobody. You got
to get admission in to go see Chris. That's the only way it works. You know, if you wanted to keep warm, I could have just sent you a bottle of my good old habanero sauce. One dip of that, you won't have to worry about burning a fire to keep warm. That stuff will really keep you warm.
Somehow I can see the Sasquatch is paying admission to come see the human.
Or you could take the stuff I make and put it out there and see if the Sasquatches will eat it.
Well, they have a sense of humor, man. I'm telling you that. They certainly do. In my 12 years of being with them up there in the mountain, I mean, they played a lot of hoaxes and stuff with me. You know, and you find it funny. I mean, you know, when they're stomping up and down on the ground and your cabin's shaking, you know, they wouldn't touch the cabin, but they'd surely jump and stomp on the ground, and I'd be like woken up, and you'd feel like it was like an earthquake. You know, they would do, and then I'd turn on all the lights on the outside of the cabin, and I'm peeking on this side of the cabin. I'm looking outside with lights, and I see this black shadow going down to the side as it's dissipating along the cabin. And then I run through the back of the cabin, and then I look the other way. I can't find him, and then I see this shadow from the lights from on top of the cabin, where you see the you know, dissipating, going down the side. They'd have fun. That was their TV, no question about that. And I liked it. You know, sometimes they would bang and knock on wood. You know, you heard like bang. The people, they would bang. You know, the wood knocking, which I'm going to bring wood knocking with me. They would do it, but sometimes they would do it forever.
Right.
Knocking, to get me out of bed, and they keep going till they saw me come out on my porch and start walking down the trail towards them, and then they would stop.
Right.
And I bring my baseball bat with me to knock back, and then I would leave my baseball bat for them to take. Mm-hmm. So here's a souvenir for you. but they would never take it.
Right.
They would never take it. So I'll be doing those kind of games, I guess. I got to be careful on my video. I don't want them to know that I'm videoing. This is a trip where I got to do a lot of the videos discreetly, because those guys, once they find you, they distrust you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
I got to be very careful on this.
Oh, by the way, Anthony sent me, I guess he sent everybody else, looks like he was in a car or something like that, and he's pointing out his window, and it looks like a creature he's pointing at, because you can see these giant eyes staring right back at you, and the eyes look like they were kind of bluish red looking. You want to explain that one, Anthony?
Well, I mean, that's probably what it looks like on my camera, but in reality.
Hello?
Video.
We lost you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was at my friend's property where he had recorded something, and so he was unable to transfer the image, by computer. So I said, look, just play it, pause, and then I'll just point to with the fingers, and I took a picture, and so that's the picture that I took. But because it's nighttime, it's really black and white, but I guess because of the lighting in the room and the TV and stuff like that, it looks like it has a little color to it. But as he paused it and I took that picture, I'm pointing to where's possible eye shine and stuff. So, because it's kind of interesting, because there's other things that are bright, and that's because, there's other items in the area that reflect, and they're there all the time. But the reason why those two, where I'm pointing, is that is not what's usually found in the back, with the infrared lighting. So didn't hear nothing, didn't smell anything, didn't, it was just that visual. Nothing came up on the recorder except just that.
Can you explain how a woman react out there if she was out in the woods and she saw one of these things?
I would think, woman or man be like, what the hell is that? Because even from that picture, you can tell that the eyes are high up in the air, and they're wide apart. They're far apart. So definitely something with a big head.
Anthony, I thought you said that was me being a peeping Tom.
No, the Giant said that.
Well, the height does kind of look like Steve might have been the peeping Tom.
I don't think
that could be.
Touche.
Yeah, whatever.
Now, that's not the first time that he has seen eyes in that particular area of his property. There was one time that it wasn't even dark. Now, it was maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun, it wasn't sunrise yet. It was but the sky was kind of gray. The sun was coming out, and he slept with the window open, and he just happened to sit up in his bed and just notice oh, it's the sun's coming up, and he was ready to go back down into bed. But then he noticed that even at just before sunrise in the dawn hour, there was a pair of eyes just opened up. It was just eyes opened up, and he saw a pair of eyes, and they were looking at him. He's looking at the eyes, and then the eyes went away. The pair of eyes went away, and he couldn't believe it, and jumped up out of bed and went out to the window to see what in the world was that, and he didn't see anything, but if he had to gauge the height of where those eyes were, it was about 8-9 feet in the air.
Wow.
So That's what he told me.
Mm. Nice. Now, this area your friend lives, it's in Virginia?
Yes. Yes.
Is it far from you?
It's not far at all. However,
Here we go. However,
respecting his wishes, he doesn't want me to disclose.
Oh no, I'm not asking you.
Yeah. No, I'm just mentioning it. I know.
Virginia's a big freaking state, Anthony. I mean,
Sure
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was in Western Virginia near, Western Virginia, not Virginia, Western Virginia, and Pearisburg, and I'm there where I do a lot of my Bigfooting up there and at great sites. Go find me in Pearisburg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I will tell you that you weren't far from where the Appalachian Trail goes through, and there
I know what that
Virginia alone, in Virginia alone, the Appalachian Trail comes like maybe an hour and a half from where I'm at. But in Virginia alone, and mind you, I don't have 100% of the incidences. However, there's a high rate of weird stuff going on along the Appalachian Trail. There are also, not related, or I hope it's not related to Bigfoot, but there are a lot of disappearances, unsolved disappearances, along the Appalachian Trail. So
I took the Appalachian Trail in Virginia, and I have it posted on my YouTube channel. And I did that just to talk to the people that find out stories from people that are hiking on the Appalachian Trail going north or south, asking them questions about things that they found unusual and stuff on there. So I did that in Virginia. But you're telling me now that there's disappearances happening on the Appalachian Trail in Virginia?
Yeah. I mean, it's not frequent, but when you look at the past 100 years, there's it's an interesting number of people that have disappeared along the Appalachian Trail, and also people that have not disappeared, reported some like really weird activity. Some of it sounds like Bigfoot, some of it sounds like UFOs and stuff like that. So if I have the time, maybe I could make that a mission, interview a bunch of these people and write about it.
Yeah, that's what I was out there looking for. I was trying to, speak to anybody that would, ask them. And then when I told them why I'm asking these questions, because I have a Bigfoot channel and stuff like that, they almost froze. I mean, they did not want to hear it. I was like, they still got a while to continue. And I'm talking, they were at these spots located in Virginia on the Appalachian Trail where you can rest overnight and take a shower and shit like that. And they were exhausted. Oh my God. They were like, malnutritioned and all this. And when I was asking them, I just was curious about the stories about Bigfoot or weird things happening on the Appalachian Trail. And they were looking at me like, this is the last thing I want to talk about or think about, because we got to still go another month or more, whatever. True.
Yeah. There's another place.
I'm sorry.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, Chris. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying that how their reaction was not one of enthusiastic to talk about anything, like something like that, So if you go ahead and do that, I hope you go ahead and do that. And just go to the Appalachian Trail and find out where some of the stops are. They'll have them on the map where the hikers can go and rest. Go to those places, and then if you want to ask them questions about anything bizarre or things that they saw that were not normal, maybe they'll tell you about it, and you'll be lucky.
So there was a place near Fredericksburg. Okay, and this particular place was interesting because in this little town there was a store, a local store, and that local store had like a bulletin board, right? And it was like a hot spot for Bigfoot and UFO activity. You know, it was, I mean, and it was like every day, not the same people, but every day they would be there. That you could find a new report of something happening, you know, that had just happened, and it was always down. And it seemed to be that store was like the central location of like where people were reporting it. Because if you found the store, because it was a little old country store, but once you found the store, it literally was like, you know, within a 5-mile radius of that store, because the store happened to be the place where they were reporting. But you could walk in the store and literally find out where the last sighting was. And people would go there, and then they would report, yeah, so-and-so reported this on this day, and I saw something similar the next day or the next week, you know, like that. You know, they would write about it on their bulletin board there in the store. You know, the store's been closed down for a long, long time, but that was one of the famous local things about that store. You know, I'm kind of cautious to mention where it was, but you know, we know I could tell you like after the show.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to know. I'm not going down there, but don't tell me where it is. But that's the story about it. Well, that's good. I mean, people leaving that. Something similar in Bailey, Colorado, when I was there a few years ago, backpacking and Bigfooting there. They had a store, and they, like you said, would put the activity, because a lot of people came to this area in Bailey, Colorado to look for Bigfoot. And this one little general store, that people would come in and they'd want to know. So other people that came in shopping in the store and did stuff, you know, well, have you heard of anything about Bigfoot being in this area? And they said, oh, yeah, down by Lake Crystal, people were canoeing and they saw Bigfoot walking along the tree line there. And similar to what you're saying in Virginia, which is good. Well, actually, I think that's why I went to the store and found out about it, because I wanted to know where Bigfoot was. So, yeah, I remember correctly, yeah.
Yeah, I've found out today that my daughter is going to be moving to, and that's not too far away from where Dr. Krantz was at, near the college, where she's moving to. And I'm like, oh boy, she's heading up to another part of Bigfoot country.
Have you been to Idaho?
No, I've never been to Ho before, but I've never been there either.
You dirty little rat. I've been there.
I've never been there at all, but a lot of people tell me it's beautiful country. But I told her, you know, watch Idaho, because it's got a lot of volcanic activity going on up in that area. That's where that super volcano's at.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yosemite's not that far from there.
Oh, I can tell you one thing. It's a sea of wheat. Okay? I mean, beautiful. Just rolls, mounds of hills, rolling hills of wheat. You know, it's especially the northern part where I was. So if you ever get up there, I mean, you know, and all you have is like train tracks, you know.
I think it's mostly all flat land.
Yeah, it's rolling flat land, Stephen. I
love the mountains and I love the trees. I always have.
Well, you won't find much where I was, if that was the area. Maybe there are other parts of Idaho. I was in Moscow, and up there.
What about Boise?
Boise. I didn't make it to Boise. I flew into Washington State in Spokane, which is one of the nicest airports in the world, man. I'm going to tell you, that's a gem of a... And then I rented a car and had to head to Idaho. And
what's the elevation there? About 6,000 feet above sea level or something like that, or is it a little bit lower than that?
That's an excellent question. All I can tell you is that when I landed in Spokane, there was a lot of huge pine trees and hills and mountains. But boy, as I got headed east going towards Idaho, it got flat. Okay? Got flat. Oh. There was still snow everywhere too in some spots, but you could tell that it's an agricultural state.
Right.
And I don't know where your daughter is going to be at, what part, the northern part, the southern part, whatever.
All I know, she said she was going to Boise.
Okay, that's in the lower part.
Yeah, it's mostly all flat land, I think.
Yeah, I was out there. We're right next to Washington State College and University of Idaho. Hey, that Meldrum went to Idaho State. I think that's where he was teaching at.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Meldrum. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's beautiful, real beautiful in the spring and fall and so on, and summer.
Right.
If you can go there. But, yeah. I gotta get ready and start dealing with the cold weather tomorrow night up here. So I'm gonna try to figure out a day where I can call you and let you know what day we could do a show up there.
Yeah, we'll do a special show.
Yeah.
Now, do they come out during the day or do they come out really late at night?
Well, I can't answer that. I've seen them in the day. Rarely. But at night, they come out, man. My last trip there was 2 years ago. I brought my friend, and it was a clear night. The moon wasn't that bright, maybe a quarter moon, but we were out and at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. There are no leaves on the trees here now. No leaves start coming here in this part of New England till like May. But it was. But you could see them climbing the trees, man. I mean, they just climb the trees and they're looking down on them, and then they walk back down and they climb back up and they walk back down. And some just stood and just stared on the ground, when I'm looking at them. And this time, I hope that I'm just by myself. They come right there and I got all my lights. I got my head lanterns. I got my regular lanterns. I got my flashlights. I got everything, batteries. So I'm all stocked up, and I'm walking there. I'm walking to them. If they're there and they don't come any closer, I'm walking to them. I'm going to promise you that. Okay? I'm not stopping.
Be careful.
Of course, I'm being careful, Anthony. I mean, I've been doing this since 2008, guy. I mean, I'm not just. I'm always been hands-on, and if they wanted to break my bones or kill me or throw me up in a tree or bury me or take me with me, they would have done it by now. There is no doubt in my mind.
No, I don't doubt that. No, I don't doubt your experience and everything like that. It's just, I guess what's in the back of my mind, because I've been reading more of the 411 books and I'm listening to more people disappearing and nobody knows where they are. You know what I mean? So, so that's why I'm like,
yeah, that could happen.
I don't really think they're like that. I'm thinking they're pretty much just curious.
Yeah. Listen, they know. For me to go to a spot and not ring the dinner bell. I will do some wood knocking, but they know. They already. I wouldn't even doubt, man. They have the capability of knowing that I'm already going to be there. They know I'm heading there. For some reason, the paranormal side, the gifts that they have, whatever, being clairvoyant, I don't know, but they'll show up. And This time, I don't want him to be standoffish. You know?
There could always be that one time, too, though, that you could run into a rogue.
Yep. Yep, you certainly can. And I could certainly run into a dog man or a kraken. Oh, freaking, Godzilla. Who knows?
Or that medium.
You're not going to find that unless you go and do it, Bruce. You're not going to find the things or whatever. You can always be, curious about he say, she say, I did this guy did this in Tennessee, boom, 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 boom. I'm doing this in New England, and that's how these stories come up. This is how legends and stuff come out about people. This guy, maybe I will disappear. You don't know. That's plain and simple. Yeah, you're ready. Just like Anthony said, all these things, it happens.
I wish.
I
wish.
Me too.
I wish.
Me too. Sometimes.
I wish you would have met a friend of mine that lives in Canada. I just know him by Mike. I keep forgetting his last name. But he has had experiences with these Bigfoots up in Canada, recordings where he's speaking to them, everything else, and they speak right back at him. Now, their speech is broken up, but, oh my God, the way he interacts with these people, it's hilarious in a way, because after the show, I'll tell you what to ask them. If you can get them to speak to you in their language, maybe you get one of them to mimic to you, if you know what I mean.
Well, like Anthony said, Anthony, by the way, went to look for a recorder.
Say that again?
I went to look for, like you're suggesting, getting a recorder.
Yes.
And I couldn't find one. But on my phone will be able to record it, though.
Have you thought about getting an air tag and putting it in your clothing somewhere, just in case something does happen to you?
A what?
An air tag.
An air tag?
Apple air tag.
Okay.
That way you can be your. That way you say if something, God forbid, did happen to you, people would at least be able to find you.
Yeah, is that an app I can get on my phone?
No, it's a device that connects to your phone.
It's a what?
The AirTag is something that connects to your phone. It's kind of like you put it inside your luggage, and then it kind of like tracks where your luggage is going on an app on your phone.
All right. Well, this is where I'm at right now. So, is there anything? Well, so you're telling me the AirTag is separate from your phone, but you just look on your phone to find out where your luggage is. So you put this device in your suitcase, and you know where it's at.
Right.
Right. All right. So where do you get that device so that you can track it on your phone?
Walmart or Amazon?
Oh, man, are you sure? I was just at Walmart every day this week. Every day this week I was there.
It's too bad you couldn't get one of those and put them down with a
Chris,
piece of paper on it.
I just want to
pick it up, and you can know where they're at.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, Chris, that you couldn't find the recorder at Walmart, because, even before I suggested it to you, I saw it on the Walmart website, and at least the Walmart by me, they had it in stock, Yeah. They had the recorder in stock. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went there at the desk there, and I just bought another phone charger. So now I have, like, this brand new phone charger I've spent $54 on will give me three and a half days or whatever of charging my phone. Well, I could charge it 3.5 times. The other one has the same amount of capability, 72 hours, and then I have another one for one full charge on my phone. So I'm good for the amount of time up there and not losing power. But when I was buying this, I asked him, is there any way that I can record, when I'm out in the wilderness, sounds and stuff that are around me? And do you have anything here? And she said, no. And then she said, you could probably buy it online at Amazon. So I took her word for it. It was my mistake not looking it up on the Walmart shopping cart.
Yeah.
But I was there.
Yeah, because
a matter of fact.
I was gonna say because I'm kind of like the two audio recorders that I personally like is the Sony and the Olympus. Okay, and those were the two that I was looking for, and now the Sony and the Olympus was not in the store, but they had another brand. I forgot what it was that was in the store. Walmart by me, you know what I mean? It was cheaper and it was available, So I'm thinking, all right, if Chris goes to Walmart, he's going to probably get that one, So basically, the one that it had in stock was about $30, but the one that I wanted costed $80, Like if I bought it today, I have an old Olympus recorder which is still doing great. And the reason why, and all right, if you don't have it today, maybe sometime in the future that might be something you want to get, because the cool thing about having audio recorders is that, once you have, even with the built-in memory, okay, all you got to do is, with the fresh batteries, all you got to do is set it and forget it. You know what I mean? It just records all night long, and then when you play it back, you can play it back at a fast speed, and then you could just, kind of pause whenever you hear noise, or you could, put it in your computer program and look at the graphs, and anytime that the graph goes high, you know that there's noise in that area, and then you could just stop right there and just play it back right there,
Yep,
but
my phone can do that. My phone can do that.
Right, but the thing that the thing that the audio recorders have that most smartphones don't have is the ability to do the microphone boost in multiple levels, and it also has the ability to filter background noise when it plays back. Okay, and and plus there's a whole host of other features that the recorder had, and I'm not kidding. I don't even use all the features on my Olympus, But there's a whole bunch of other features also, And again, I hear what you're saying, Chris. I'm sure, if you use your phone, it'll do good. But the thing is that your phone is also powering the microphone plus all the other crap that's going on in the background for your phone, and I don't have to tell you, everybody knows the more things you got running on your phone, the quicker your battery goes dead. The cool thing about the audio recorder is that like on 1 or 2 AAA batteries, that thing can go record for hours and hours and hours before it goes dead. You don't have to worry about the battery.
Right. You're right. Listen, I would have bought it if they had it there. I would have bought it. But you're right, my battery, and that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Just in case I'm having a good time up there. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is bathing in some ways, man. I mean, after 5 days, and I did it in the Rockies, but using up my power. Yeah, you're right. Getting that thing that was separate from my phone would have been a lot more ideal and perfect.
Well, let's go ahead.
Hey.
Let's go ahead and take a break, and then right after a break, we have a guest.
Okie dokie.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, cold-press hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who open the pickle jar on the first try. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. Dare I say, soft. Oh, men aren't supposed to have soft skin? Yeah, well, men weren't supposed to cry during movies. And then they made the movie Rudy. He's so little. You want to smell like the forest? Boom, pine tar, we've got you. You want to smell like the sea? Boom, nautical sage, we've got you. You want to smell like you just got off a boat in the Caribbean? Boom, bay rum, we've got you. With 6 more cents, we've got you covered no matter what kind of man you are. Now you're wondering, why have I been doing it wrong for so long? During the First World War, big soap started taking out all the natural ingredients to make production cheaper and faster. They replaced all the natural stuff with chemicals. Chemicals like sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, and dioxane. Chemicals linked to depression, liver damage, cancer, and low sperm count. And worst of all, dry skin. Oh. Your poor balls, all dry, empty, and sad. But there's good news. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. No. Turn your shower game up to 11. With the smooth lather of gold moss or the exfoliating woodsy bliss that is pine tar, get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive. Still not sure? Here's a couple reviews from real customers. Joseph S. says,
"This is the perfect bar of soap. It's like it was handcrafted in the Northwest Forest by beautiful tiny elves."
Oh, tiny elves isn't enough for you? Well, here's another review from Michael A.
"It makes you feel like you just stepped out of a mountain stream, and Squatch was there to hand you the towel."
Time for you to get the right tool for the job, because you're worth it, my friend. We ship it right to your door. And with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, if it's not the best bar of soap you've ever used, it's on us. Tens of thousands of men already subscribe, which means that every month, fresh new bars of Squatch show up at their door. Click the link for Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
And we're back. I heard you snicker in the background, Anthony. And I want to welcome a friend of mine on the show. I've been, following him for a few years. This is Daniel Perez from, I think, Los Angeles area.
That's correct.
And he's been in the Bigfoot cryptozoology world is probably longer than I have, I think. I'm not sure. Anyhow, Daniel, would you tell everybody, please, how did you get started in the world of cryptozoology?
About 1973, I was fortunate enough to see at the Walk-In Theater The Legend of Boggy Creek. And so prior to that time, I had no idea about these man-like monsters in North America. And this was my first introduction to the whole thing. I didn't even know they were called Bigfoot or Sasquatch till later on.
Any questions there, Chris?
Wow, that is great how you started. So, okay, have you traveled outside of the LA area, Los Angeles area, and researched for Bigfoot or any other types of zoology?
Yeah,
creatures.
I've been all over the United States, and in 1996, I took a trip pretty much cross-country in a motorhome to follow up on reports firsthand, especially in the state of Ohio and also in the state of Michigan. And I was very impressed by the eyewitnesses that I met, that I was introduced to by Don Keating from Ohio, and also from Art Capa from Michigan. And so I found that the cases were very compelling.
And he's also met a friend of mine that I used to talk to a lot, who is Roger Patterson or
Bob Gimlin?
Bob Gimlin, that's right. I can never remember his name. I'm getting old.
And let me just give you a little rundown on Bob Gimlin. So my first physical meeting with Bob Gimlin was in the summer of 1990. And I drove up from Los Angeles to Seattle to go watch the Goodwill games, and it was at Husky Stadium in Seattle in 1990s. I'm a big track and field fan, so I was up there. And on the way back, I made a decision to detour to Yakima because obviously anyone who knows anything about Bigfoot knows about Bob Gimlin, so I wanted to meet him. And I thought to myself, you know what? Rather than just phone him, just go right up to his ranch and knock on the door. And so I actually drove up there, unbeknownst to him, and he was actually outside, I guess you would call it breaking a horse, working on a horse with a tether, and he just happened to have, I think, a broken arm or something, or a fractured arm, because one of his arms was in a sling. Mm. And he knew who I was, and so it was actually not like a stranger had pulled up. He already knew who I was from Renee DeHinden. And so we got to talking, and again, this is 1990, decades ago, but there were a couple of things that still stick with me to this day about what he said about his famous encounter from October 20th of 1967. He said that what he saw moved like a well-oiled machine. And secondly, he said that what he saw was walking, but he also mentioned that it seemed to cover the ground very fast. And third, he says, I've been around horses all my life, and I could see the muscles in horses. And he said this thing that I was looking at was just so heavily muscled, it was incredible.
How true. How exciting. You know, I mean, really, that's a great journey that you nitzed for yourself all these years, listening to people and finding their experiences. I mean, we were just talking earlier about the Appalachian Trail and talking to people coming up and down the Appalachian Trail and asking them about their experiences. And sure enough, you come on the show, and that's what exactly you've been doing since 1973. That is phenomenal. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, is that we have, if you go to the BFRO website, you just find that there's thousands and thousands of people claiming to see something that fits the description of Bigfoot, like a hairy man-like creature that's walking upright. And these are people from all walks of life. So they're making these claims, but without evidence. So you take that as a statement and set it aside. So if that same group of people from all walks of life, none of these people, not one of them, are saying that they saw a pink kangaroo in the woods or crossing a road or in Florida or Washington or Alaska or the Canadian provinces. Not one of them. But they are claiming they're seeing this gorilla-like, man-like creature in the woods or crossing a highway or something to that effect. So that's the key takeaway, is they're claiming a very specific thing. And it can't be like this mass hallucination or something, because they're reporting one thing. Not one of them is claiming to have seen a pink kangaroo.
No. And everybody that talk about the same thing that all of us have seen always comes out to the same description. It was
pretty much.
In 1965, my family moved to Redding, California from Los Angeles back in the 1960s. And my mother and father, they bought a house up on Canyon Road right across the canal bank from the Blackfoot Reservation. I went to school with a lot of Native Americans in my time growing up. And our house was the only house on the block of the reservation that was sold to the public. And our house sat on this, what they called the Blackfeet hunting grounds. And I could walk out in the backyard. I could find arrowheads and everything else. I just let them lay there because, they didn't bother me, so why should I pick them up? Anyhow, I think it was 1965. It was stormy, windy, and it was lightning, but it wasn't raining. I mean, it was windy as you couldn't believe. And every time lightning had struck my bedroom window or flashed through my bedroom window, I could always see this gigantic round silhouette coming through my curtains. And I knew as a kid there wasn't a tree right there by my bedroom window. There was brush and bushes below it, but there wasn't no tree there. So when I opened up my window and I saw this gigantic, huge looking face looking at me with these red glowing eyes, I freaked. I closed the curtains, I got out of bed, and I ran up underneath the bed, and I stayed there all night long. My mother comes into the room, and she asked me why I was underneath the bed. And I told her what I saw. The first thing that came out of that woman's mouth was, "Oh, hon, you were just having a nightmare." But if I was having a nightmare, why is my leg bruised? There's just no way that was a nightmare. And that stuck to the back of my head since 1965. And that was 2 years before Gimlin saw his first encounter with a Sasquatch up near the Marble Mountain area in Siskiyou County.
Yeah. And see, I'm assuming you were a teenager or a young person at the time, right?
I was 5 years old. I didn't know what it was. Okay. I was scared shitless.
See, a lot of times when very young people, children, report seeing something that are living with their parents, the parents just, "Oh, that's nice, Johnny," or "That's nice, Sally. Now go do your homework or go eat your food." And they don't believe it. And so that's part of the problem that we're still experiencing today.
Yep. Well, I was raised up as a Christian growing up mostly all my life. And my mom or dad were always taught that the human race was the only people out here in existence. Anything else you'd see other than that could be either a monkey or an ape or something loose from a zoo. Well, I find that a little peculiar because where I grew up in Redding, California, there's no zoos. And we don't have none of that stuff. The closest zoo to Redding is somewhere in Sacramento. So I don't think anything that big would just hop and hitch a ride to Redding, California. It just doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. But people are always looking for the easy out. They're looking for that explanation as to the real explanation that probably is the reality, as that there's a species that we call Bigfoot that is out there, period.
And I've had Northern California, I don't know about down here, but Northern California, I've already had 9 encounters with these things. And I don't care what anybody says. The more encounters you start having with these creatures or these hairy people, the more you get used to it to the point where you're not afraid of them no more. You're not.
Right.
And these things, people, whatever you want to call them, they can actually tell if you're a good person or they can tell if you're a bad person. If you're a bad person, they stay as far away from you as they can. If you're a good person, they make themselves known to you. I've always had that positivity around me. I can never explain it.
That's true.
Are you still stationed in Redding?
No, unfortunately, I'm like 270 miles southeast of you. I'm right next door to Yuma, Arizona. But I'm trying to save up enough money to get the hell out of this heat so I can go back up to Northern California where I belong.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, are you still pursuing traveling around the country and in locations and asking people their experiences?
Absolutely, but now I'm more focused than ever on just the Bluff Creek area where the famous footage was shot in '67, and I still think it's an excellent area to do your Bigfooting. And there's a fellow that's up there, can't think of his name right now, but he lives in Arcata, and he and 2 of his friends had seen tracks in the snow on the Go Road, and which is the way to get up to the Bluff Creek area. And this was, I believe, in 2023. And they looked pretty good to me and to a lot of other people, including the late Dr. Jeff Meldrum, who saw those prints. Yeah. And so I suspect they're still up in the Bluff Creek area, and I suspect that they're just more more sneaky than ever before because they probably know there's probably people looking for them up there.
Yeah, I know that area up there very well. I really do. I used to go up there and camp up there and hike up there a lot. I've seen a lot of strange things up there that people couldn't comprehend. But nowadays, when I go up there, they just don't bother me anymore. I mean, if I go up there and I hear something crunching in the background, and sometimes when I'm in Reading there's this road that's called Clear Creek Road. It goes alongside this old creek they call Clear Creek. I think I was there in 2015. I was looking across. They made this park. It's like a lookout park. It tells how Clear Creek was formed by all these miners and stuff. And it was almost at dusk when I looked across the road, and I saw this Bigfoot on the other side of a tree, just barely behind it. But he noticed I was looking at him, and it didn't bother me a bit. Everybody else just ignored it like there was nothing there. A Bigfoot can actually sense you're looking at them, and they'll look right back at you. No problems. I've never, ever had a problem with these things, ever. And people say, well, we got to go out, we got to bag one of these things. No, don't go out and shoot it. What did it ever do to you? They're not harmful. They're not a creature to go out and hurt anybody. I've never had that experience at all. Now, I'm not saying they won't protect their young, because they will. But, I've been to Bluff Creek. I've been to, what's that small town outside of Bluff Creek? It's not too far away from Marble Mountain.
Willow Creek, Orleans?
Yeah, Willow Creek. I was in Willow Creek once. That's where, what the hell is my friend's name? He used to live there. I think it was Java Bob's Coffee Shop, or Java Shop or whatever, and he sold out. Then he moved up to Brookings, New York, and I think he passed away several years ago. And I know all that area up there real well. And some people would call that creepy up there, but I found it very relaxing. And if you saw one of these things, I would just sit there and wave at it. No big deal. I mean, they have every right to live here as much as we do.
Yeah, and if you go up to the Hoopa Indian Reservation, you'll find that the Hoopa Native Americans, I call them Indians, and I'm not trying to be discriminatory.
I understand what you're saying. I have a native friend of mine that lives up there on the reservation.
Yeah, but these people are continuing to have interactions with them, and I find it quite interesting. It's just like, so I suspect that situation with the Native Americans in Hoopa and Bigfoot has probably been going on for a long, long time. I'm talking hundreds of years. Yeah, because the Hoopa have been there for a very long time in that area.
And I keep telling people this. How do you think the Native Americans built these teepees? The Bigfoot must have showed them. Because when you go out searching for evidence of Sasquatch, you always see these trees bent over, almost looking like a teepee.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, when I was in Colorado a couple of years ago, I did find these huge teepees in the forest. I mean, they were like, I was thinking that there was Native Americans. This wasn't just like big, huge logs that were like structured to look like a teepee. I mean, they were formatted to like in a big opening inside door, like you could go inside and stay there. I mean, I put it on my YouTube channel, and yeah, I mean, if it was a 9 or 10 foot Bigfoot, it could stay in there. So you might be right on that, Stephen.
There's a tribe of Native Americans that live up in Oroville, California. They're called the Maidu, and I have a son who's half Maidu. And they have this legend up there that they call these people protectors of the forest. And the reason they call them protectors of the forest is they only let certain people go in the forest that aren't going to do any harm to nature and everything else. People who are going to do harm to the forest, like loggers and everything else, they let them know about it. They're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Good. Huh. All right. Well, tell us on your encounters and travels. Which state did you feel had the most results of people informing others about Bigfoot in the area? I mean, the more reports.
I would probably have to say, hands down, Ohio.
Ohio, very good.
Ohio has always consistently produced Bigfoot reports, and I suspect it might be just because of the massive deer population. It's just like, and the amount of places to hide out, and it's just like Ohio isn't necessarily a mountainous state; it's a hilly state, but there seems to be a lot of places to hide out in that state, and there's a lot of deer, and I suspect that Bigfoot are comfortable in that area because of those two factors. There's a lot of water there too, and so I think those three factors, the water, the shelter, and the food sources, is what has brought them there and what keeps them there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Ohio has produced tremendous results, and you wouldn't think that a state like Ohio would have such good results. You'd think that the action would be here in Oregon and Washington, but Ohio has, to this day, has held its own.
Yeah, I've had the best Bigfoot research. Now, there's a Bigfoot on my YouTube channel. You can't see it unless you take the video apart, and there's an app that you can take to take it apart, look like pictures, and when you go through the pictures, you can actually see a Bigfoot standing by a tree looking at me as I'm doing some Bigfoot field research, taking a picture of a footprint that they left behind. Now, that was back in between Anderson and Redding, California, on the old Stagecoach Road, and that was back, I think, in 2015, I believe. And
okay.
That was it. The other best place I ever had the best Bigfoot experience in the world, and there's a lot of them up there. You just got to know when to get there. It's usually about spring, is Mount Shasta in Siskiyou County, or what they call Castle Craigs. That's the best place in the world to find a lot of Bigfoot activity up there.
Yeah, Mount Shasta has historically had some good reports, and so it's a big area. When you're on I-5, the Interstate 5 freeway, going north or south, you just see the massiveness of the area, but once you get into that area, then that's when you start to realize just how big that area is.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful country.
Wow.
It's beautiful country. You think Colorado's beautiful. Oh, my God. When you see Mount Shasta, you see the sugar pines and the pine needles and the pine trees. It's just, you fall in love so quick you don't want to leave.
Yeah.
I bet.
They've got wildlife up there. They've got mountain lion. They've got all kinds of deer up there like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's what I call God's country. It's so beautiful, it's not even funny.
Yeah, it's a very incredible place, and we camped up there in 1980, and I was just amazed at how big the area is. It's a very, very big area. It's deceptively big because when you're on the I-5 freeway, just looking at it, it doesn't look that big from afar. But once you get into the area, that's when you start to realize that it's a massive area.
Oh, yeah, and you can actually see Mount Shasta on a clear day all the way from Chico, California. That's how big this mountain is.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I've seen is pictures. Looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's always snow on the mountain, isn't there? On the top of the mountain, is it always snow up there? Or no?
Not all the time. There have been times when it's been really hot that the snow is almost melted off. I mean, on the very top cap, you can see a little bit, but not a lot. I think I was there back in, I think it was 2015 or 2016. Didn't have snow on at all. It was the hottest year there was, and the snow kind of like melted off it. But when the snow melted, it had an ancient what do you call those things? They have them up in Alaska where you find gold in them. Some sort of an ancient bed that just slid right off the mountain, and it took out Ash Creek. It took out almost half the forest with it. And I thought to myself, and at the time I was looking for gold and everything else, and I thought to myself, man, if I could go up there, I could find all kinds of gold in that thing. But I never went up there.
Oh, you should have.
It was an ancient glacier. That was thinking. It was an ancient glacier that fell off the side of Mount Shasta.
Wow. Interesting.
Huh. Oh, well, maybe someday.
I'm considered.
I'm telling you, Chris, you go up there, you will never want to leave. It's beautiful up there. The only thing about it is it snows deep up there.
Oh, no, really?
I'm dead serious.
That's terrible.
And now, and I think it's, what is it, Wairika or Eureka? I get them both mixed up. I think
Wairika is extreme north, just below Oregon, and Eureka is a little south of Wairika.
Yeah, Wairika, it snows heavy up there. I've seen Wairika get almost like 10 feet of snow.
Oh, well, when I was in Colorado, man, I mean, for June, July, into August, that snow, I was at 10,500 feet. I was just below the tree line where its tree stopped growing. And, man, that snow stayed all summer in some of the spots in the Rockies.
Yeah, it doesn't get cold like it does in Colorado. When it snows in Colorado, it gets deep, but it also gets down to freezing. Wairika is nothing like that at all. It gets cold up there, but I mean, I could run around up there without a shirt. It wouldn't bother me a bit. It doesn't get that cold in Wairika at all like it would in Colorado. It's a different cold altogether.
Okay. Now, another question is there, while you were like searching and things about Bigfoot, were there any other paracryptic, zoologistic animals or creatures that you came upon that you weren't ready to hear about or you found interesting on your journeys?
No, the only other thing that I heard were UFO reports.
Well, yeah, Shasta County gets those all the time.
Bigfoot and UFO reports.
I see.
Yeah, Shasta County, Siskiyou County gets a lot of UFO reports up there, especially around the mountain.
Were these UFO reports have any encounters with human people, or they were just UFOs flying above and they saw the UFOs? Or
well, mostly what I've read from these areas is when it comes to UFOs, mostly what I've read from the areas really didn't speak with a whole lot of UFO witnesses, maybe one or two here and there, but mostly just all the people I discussed with was mostly people who've had sightings of Bigfoot or seen tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you a believer that there are other things outside of Bigfoot in the wilderness? Oh, good, absolutely. good. Because I know with Bruce here, Bruce, you still awake? Bruce.
Yeah, I'm here.
He probably fell asleep.
Yeah, he did.
I'm here.
Okay, buddy, we're talking up your alley here about stuff, and that's what I'm munching at. Yeah. Now, the question I asked was asking if there were other, beliefs besides Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and you mentioned that you did believe that there are other things. Have you had any stories brought to your attention about the dog man or other things?
Not so much. I've yet to talk with anyone who allegedly have seen the dog man. And to me, that's kind of a recent invention because in the early days, I never heard of it until maybe within the last 10 years. And the same thing with the chupacabra.
Yeah.
I never heard of it till quite recently, till it got into the mainstream newspapers and news. But the chupacabra could be an unknown species altogether. I'm not certain about that. I've got no expertise in that area, but I'm certainly aware of those reports. I'm certainly aware of the Dogman reports. And I tend to think that perhaps the Dogman reports might be a misidentification of simply a Bigfoot report.
Yeah.
But I don't know that in fact, but that's my suspicion.
Yeah, that's the same thing I think, because I remember when Jan was still alive, and Jan said something about he saw a dog man. Me and Jan got to speaking back and forth a lot before he passed away, and me and Jan had this thing about maybe it wasn't a dog man, maybe they were putting something over their head to make everybody think they looked a little different, because I've always seen Bigfoots all my life. Like Daniel said, the dog man didn't come in until about the 2000s. In the 1970s, there was no such thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of reports of Dogman in the 70s or the 80s, or even in the 90s. I think it's...
Well, Daniel, and Stephen, you got to remember this, and that people, though you never heard of it, are reluctant to talk about it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was ridiculed just talking about Bigfoot and people attacking me, and were vicious. And I'm in New England, and everyone thought if there was a Bigfoot, it wouldn't be in New England. And I was always on, mushrooms or LSD, and people keep things to themselves. And a couple of years ago, Daniel, I invited a Native American to come on the show. His name was Navajo Joe, and he was telling us and the listeners how his daughter was in Arizona, and she was coming back from work from Walmart, and she had the late shift, and on her way back to the reservation at night, it's a 2-lane highway, and she saw this bipedal creature on the side of the road. And as she was getting closer, she was slowing down just to make sure what it was. And she said that it had the face of a canine, like a wolf, and it scared her so much that she started accelerating and trying to get to her home. And this creature was running as fast as she was driving along the highway, and then started to pass her. And as it got past the windshield, it grabbed its arm and smashed the front of her driver's side window, and smashed it. And she kept on driving, and the only reason that this thing slowed down was another car coming in the opposite direction towards her, and this bipedal dogman creature slowed down, and she just kept on going and went to see her father, Navajo Joe, on the reservation. And she wasn't much of a believer in things like Bigfoot. Navajo Joe was telling us, but she was that night. And when she got to the home and went inside and told her father, and so the creature, I don't know, after she left it, followed her home to that reservation and was screaming and yelling and everything. And they called the reservation police to come out there and help them, because this creature would not go away. And supposedly when the reservation police came, they saw this creature, and that they started firing at it. And I guess they missed. But this is from a guy that that talked about his ancestors and his families that had, had interaction with Bigfoot for, for centuries, whatever went on, and other mystical creatures. But the daughter, told the story that, and then followed her to their home on the reservation. And so just to let you know that, you're right in some ways that Bigfoot and people mistake it or things like that. But there are instances where facts of visual contacts and stuff like that these were not Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember this when I brought him on the show?
Yeah, I remember Navajo Joe. I really do. He was telling us about the skinwalkers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize is it's a shaman that does all good things for the Native Americans and everything else. But some of these shamans, they go into what they call the dark part of they go in the dark part of the evil part of their thing so they can live longer, supposedly. But when they do get into this, it's like they turn evil for some strange reason. That's like Skinwalker Ranch. Now, Skinwalker Ranch, how Skinwalker Ranch got its name is because of the Paiutes and a different Native American race that was up there. They had a squabble between each other. And I think one of the races up there, they cursed the land. And now every time someone goes up there, like the team that's up there now, every once in a while they see these big old giant wolf-type skinwalkers up there.
Yeah. I mean, there are other things out there that go bump in the night. And I'm going, I don't know if you heard, Daniel, but I'm going Bigfooting tomorrow. And I'll be at 5 nights.
Yeah.
I'm going in Berkshire, right on where the Berkshires begin in northern Connecticut to throughout Massachusetts into Vermont on the western side of New England. But I'm going tomorrow night for 5 nights. It's going to be in the 30s at night, which I'm not looking forward to. But matter of fact, it's going to be below freezing. It says 31, but it's still below freezing. But I'm going for 5 nights. I've got enough provisions. If I'm have a lot of interaction, then I'll stay longer. But I'm looking forward to it. And it is riveting, like I was mentioning to the guys, that when they come at night and you see their eyes shine, but there are other things that make me wonder what else is out there, when I'm out there.
Right.
And, that's what I was asking you about, if you've heard people talk about other stories and things like that.
Right, but
so,
I primarily just focus on Bigfoot. I don't think there's any one person on the planet who could focus on all of these cryptozoological entities and be an expert at all of them. I'm sure Lauren Coleman has tried, but I mean, he's probably late 70s now, probably 78 or thereabouts, and he's good at writing about the topics, but in terms of solving any of them, I think he will pass before any of that happens.
He's still alive, ain't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Is he in Pennsylvania?
I think.
No, he's in Portland, near Portland, Maine.
Okay.
Okay, and he has a museum up there.
I think so.
Then I spoke to him.
Yeah.
When I wrote my book, I did speak to him. Up in Maine, yes, and I got a hold of him up there about Bigfoot and things like that. And he was a very nice man. His museum up there.
He's a very knowledgeable person.
Yes. Matter of fact, he gave me some info to speak to somebody in Pennsylvania, and I forget who he was. Man, my mind's going, but it was like 2018. I was speaking to somebody and asking them about
He's almost like
Bigfoot.
He's almost like Dr. Krantz when Dr. Krantz was still alive.
Yeah, Yeah, but now I remember. I was asking him about the DNA and things that I had from what I found out there, and he told me to go and talk to this famous guy in Pennsylvania. And I apologize for not remembering because I'm getting too old. And I spoke to him for a while, and he was well known. Oh, damn. I don't know if he's still alive now. I wasn't thinking about talking about it, so I really can't remember. But a nice gentleman there, but no one could give me anybody to bring my collection of things that I found that I believe that were connected with Bigfoot, and find somebody that would be honestly able to go and analyze it, and it was hard. All these people that had experiences and knowledge, they were saying it's so tough to get your stuff analyzed and done truthfully. So, but that was the purpose of it. Then.
Yeah, you got a lot of people out there that nothing like Washington. Washington State actually recognizes Bigfoot as being a living entity up there. I know California has been trying to pass a law to recognize Bigfoot, but I don't even know if that law is still in the books or not.
I don't think California has a law that recognizes Bigfoot as a real biological entity.
Right. I know they were. I know I was reading an article. I think it was online that they were going to try to make it where Bigfoot was a known species in California, going through legislation just like Washington did, but I don't think it ever did go through.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any Bigfoots up there in the mountains outside of LA. Now, people have even told me that they have seen the Bigfoot creature up in the hills outside of LA, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been in those mountains. I've been in the Sierra Nevadas. I've been in Plumas County, where there's been a few sightings up there. I've been in Lake Almanor. I've been all over up there, but as far as outside of LA, I've never even been in those mountains at all.
There were reports in the mountains north of Los Angeles, in the San Bernardino and the San Gabriel Mountains.
Yeah.
And whether that can be happening today in terms of Bigfoot up in those mountains, there's always a possibility, but I don't really hear of any reports.
Yeah. Well,
have you ever been to Virginia, Daniel, to do any research there for Bigfoot?
No, never.
No. Okay. On that, we have a guest. Our other co-host is Anthony from Virginia. Anthony, you awake?
Yes, I'm awake.
No, he fell asleep.
He fell asleep. You blame me about falling asleep. All you guys say I fall asleep. I admit it.
We got you on recording, though.
Yeah, we got you snoring, too.
I know you do. I'm terrible. Not tonight, though.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm asking the questions to Daniel. No one's saying anything else except me and you, Steve.
Well, I mean, I've spoken to Daniel several times on Facebook, but I don't like bothering him because I know he works in L.A.
Oh, yeah, but I mean on the show, but on that.
Yeah, I still work full time.
Wow. Okay. What an exciting life, Daniel. I mean, that to travel and do what you do. I mean, really, that's great.
I'm also the editor and publisher of the Bigfoot Times newsletter, and the newsletter has been going strong since January of 1998.
Really? Okay, now I'm learning. Okay.
Now you got Chris's attention.
If you just go to BigfootTimes.net, you'll find out all about the newsletter and all about all the coverage we've had on the Bigfoot topic over almost 3 decades.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe I'll have something juicy to tell you after my trip here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I get up north, maybe I'll save up enough money if you don't go all the way to Asia, and maybe I'll get you a bus ticket or something like that, or a plane ticket to Northern California. And I'll show you Mount Shasta. One look at that place, you'll fall in love with it.
I'm sure I will, Steve. Let's just hope we don't die before we do something like this. That's why I'm going on. I'm doing the trip tomorrow, man. At our age, we have only so many days, hours, if you want to think. Life isn't given to us.
Hey,
you just don't know.
Watch that age shit now.
Yeah, Asian. I said Asian, not age.
Oh, I thought you said age. I say watch that.
I did say age. I was teasing. Worried about your age with all those beautiful young women you're with.
Well, I can't help that part. I just know how to treat a woman. Like, don't get me wrong. You got all these models that live in L.A. and all this everything, and they think there's a nice hunk out there, and they fall in love with him and everything else. But then when they're in a relationship with all these nice hunks, what do? They go out and they screw around with somebody else, and then they sit back in the bathroom and cry. What did they do wrong? Well, I know what you did wrong. You were looking on the outside. You weren't looking on the inside of the person. Good grief.
Yeah.
It's not the outside that counts. It's the inside. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, it was always the inside of the person that counted, not so much the outside. Nowadays, people just look at a person for the outside. It's like, what the hell happened? Well, you know what time it is.
Anyway. Daniel, thank you for coming on, Daniel. I'll look you up in the big time. Really, thank you for. I hope you come on again. That was great. I wish I had more time to ask other questions and think about it for being a surprise guest here. Thank you so much.
Well, I didn't want to say nothing. I thought, what the heck? I was going to shock you anyhow.
Yeah, but I would have had more of a list. BigfootTimes.net. Okay,
that's correct.
I'll find it.
Thank you for coming on, David. Or Daniel. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, you folks have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gentle Giant, and this is the Bigfoot Radio for this week. And we would like you all to tune in next week for some more Bigfoot Radio. And all of us on the Bigfoot Radio Network, we would also like to thank our guests for joining in on the discussion tonight on this talk show. And we would also like to thank you, our listeners, for sharing our adventures with us. Join us again next Friday evening, another exciting hour of Bigfoot Radio with the Bigfoot research teams from across the country. And we would also especially like to thank our listeners. Until then, this is the Gentle Giant saying good night, be good, be safe, and we will see you here again next week. Until then, keep Bigfoot live and keep Bigfooting. See you all again next week. Bye-bye, and have a nice night.
Just like a man, while keeping out.
Good night, John Boy.
What he is may be unknown, but there's one thing I know.
Good night, great grandpa Washington.
The mountain